Our client is a textile manufacturer. They ship in raw products to the port of Genoa and do a manufacturing process in northern Italy. Then they distribute directly to stores and wholesalers throughout Europe. They want to plan for forward deploying their inventory at multiple warehouses during their peak season. So out of season, they'll distribute straight from their manufacturing plant and its warehouse. In season, they wish to forward deploy to a number of warehouses in Central and Western Europe. So what they would like to do, we've plotted it out here. We have a 12.08 million euro network. I have not put in manufacturing or manufacturing lease costs because that is invariable. And what they really have is intermodal transportation and connection from the port to their manufacturing facility, and then distributing out here. And you can see that we have a wide variety of service times. What we would like to do is experiment with different configurations of warehouses, including their fixed costs of lease. So I'm going to duplicate the scenario, and I'm going to configure my warehouses so that they have essentially 5,000 square meters of space, and we're going to use the local real estate rates as the cost. I'm not going to count labor into this one because primarily I'm interested in the incremental cost of warehouses, and this will reflect both inventory as well as lease rates. So we have our scenario, and their initial thought was to experiment with 3 warehouses. And you can see it went and selected, looks like Belgium, France, and Czech Republic. And we've actually saved 2.45 million euros. And if we look at our new baseline cost, you'll see that we added a facility cost of 1.8 million, but we really took that delivery truckload, the FTL FX you see here, down. And now we have an added leg to each warehouse. So we've definitely saved cost, and we've actually got about 86% of the demand within one day, which is going to be very reactive for their distribution to stores. So we can save this as the 3 DC option or scenario. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it, because what we did with this client is we sat down and then we did a workshop and we experimented with any number of warehouses. They wanted to see what would happen if we'd add 1 more. So let's go to 4. And added 1 additional one, actually kept the same ones as before and added 1 in Warsaw. And you see our savings went down because now we're incrementally adding warehouses. But you see this facility lease, this light green right here, the facility lease is now coming up and reducing our incremental value. And in fact, I'll just show you this. We'll save this one just to show that there was decreasing return. And I'll duplicate it and show you that we can eventually go negative as we force too many warehouses onto the system. So I'm going to solve for, let's say, 7. I'm going to guess that takes us negative. So it's going to force 7. It's actually not going to limit the number of warehouses you use because you've explicitly asked for 7. We're still not negative, but we have gone down. Now we're under €1 million savings, and we probably still have Spain and Portugal outside of 1-day delivery. So in this case, we actually pretty much settled in on the 3 DC scenario, which was the first one we built, and looked at that. And we looked at different ways of, moving it around, looking at different alternative options that were still in the ballpark, and then went out and found partners or warehouse suppliers that could provide these 3 services. And that is warehouse selection.